पोजीशन हो सकती है ना, एक है there could be only two things, right? There can be, there is reality, there's an external reality, or there's no external reality. These are only two positions.
That's true.
Or a third position, maybe not.
50-50.
That's a different thing. That effectively is a different, that if you want to make it really logical, these are the three. There is a reality, there's no reality, and maybe not.
हाँ, तो इस्लाम तो वो है ना, वो बीच का रास्ता.
Yeah.
इस्लाम तो बीच का रास्ता.
This is not beach ka rasta. Actually, beach ka rasta is there is reality. So there's reality, there's going to be two extremes. One, there's no reality, and there may be multiple realities. So beach ka rasta is one reality. La ilaha illallah is the middle path. On the right, on whatever, how you polytheism, and the right, atheism.
Yeah. Two spectrums.
Two extremes. Either you negate everything, or you multiply everything infinitely.
Infinite.
Yeah?
चलिए.
Okay? So that is the two positions you take. Now, if you take the position, let's take the position that there is reality. Let's take the position. How many sub-positions can you come in between there? How many positions? So there are only two ways, two sub-major categories there. One is there are two things there. How do you get to the source of that reality? And what are the different realities? So one reality is that there's one stable reality that is unchanging. Right? One reality that is unchanging. Then the second position is what? A reality that keeps changing. Right? And how do you acquire...
Example के दे, reality keeps changing.
Relativism. Relativism is a classical example of things changing according to time and space. Meaning people change, things will change.
इस्लाम में आपका अकीदा नहीं है.
Fifth में. इस्लाम में नहीं.
चीजें बदलती हैं, इंसान बदल रहे हैं, दुनिया बदल रही
So,
है. ये
but there's a unchanging reality. हक.
Yeah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ये तो उसमें भी है.
कहाँ है?
Relativism में भी.
क्या चीज़ है? क्या चीज़ है? उसमें तो हर चीज़ चेंज हो सकती है ना.
Core change हो जाता है.
हर चीज़.
The core
is the same. In Islam, your foundation changes the same. In science, your foundation is not very accurate. For example, physics. They don't know that the foundation is 100% correct. It can change the next day. It can screw over everything. But in Islam, the foundation is 100% solid. There's no changing it whatsoever.
And what is unchanging there? It's not like a lot of things.
Yeah.
One is Allah
and the Rasul.
and Rasul and the Akhirah, Kitab, Malaika. These very fundamental things. Nothing more. This is a very simple thing. In relativism, when you come to relativism, or a subset of relativism is infinite regress. That's a different thing altogether. But relativism means what is haq today, I can believe in God today because the evidence says God exists. Tomorrow I can say no, God does not exist. The evidence does not exist anymore. This is what is relativism. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells people, that do not change your reality according to your desires. Because the perception of reality is based, how do you get it? Only through two means, rational or empirical. I touch this thing, that's why I know it is there. Or I can think about it, that's why it's there. But I cannot touch Allah, I cannot, with my five senses, I cannot even think about it. Same thing with Malaika, Akhirah, but we know they exist. Right? This is the biggest. Once you reject that, then there's no way you cannot be subject to your prejudice. Why? Because human beings are basically empirical and they're time bound. I can't see further into the future. So I have to make my judgment based on what I know today or some of the past. That's it. So here, when we're talking about philosophy of science, so here, this is your core value. This is your source of knowledge, empirical or rational. Or in Islam, what is in Islam is what? Islam has a third source, Wahi. So in Islamic framework, this will have three sources. And the two others, empirical and rational, are subordinate to that.
It's subordinate to that. It cannot go.
They are
beyond
not.
that.
They are not in parallel. In non-Islamic framework, these are the only two. Or actually, I should correct. In Hinduism, you have one source here. What is this is called meditation? But meditation, actually, if you look at it carefully, is actually rational, because you're using your mind to reach some level, right? So here,
The philosophy of science is the core of what?
of all these philosophies that you see out there, you have rationalism, you have empiricism, you have realism, positivism. We have gone through all this. Pragmatism, this is what you just said. Maybe, maybe not. Pragmatism is practical. Maybe, maybe not. We have instrumentalism, structuralism, psychoanalytic theory, post-structural, all the things that you can think about. How relativism.
No, you pointed out the core. Two arrows are pointing toward the core. What do you mean by two arrows pointing toward the core?
There's a small circle here, and there's a small circle here.
What is that?
Which is the two fundamentals
This
of psych-
okay. Let me go back to this slide here. Okay. अच्छा सवाल है, बाद में बताएंगे. Okay, see this. This is your circle.
What
This is-
circle?
This is your core, your world system, belief system, your world viewpoint, whatever you want to call it. It has your axioms, postulates, foundations, principles, maxims, whatever, however you want to call it. Okay, these are core things that you assume to move forward.
foundation.
Foundation. You assume you have to start with something. You can't start with a blank slate.
That's a starting point.
A starting point. Some people will call it a starting point. Like for instance, what is my starting point? La ilaha illallah. Okay? What is Dawkins' starting point?
La.
La.
No. He only said La ilaha. That's it.
No, he doesn't say la ilaha illallah. He says
No. La ilaha. There is no God.
there's no God. Yeah.
Illallah, it doesn't come.
It doesn't come to that. So, what is the position of Buddhism? Nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah, nothing. That is the absolute position of Buddhism.
They have
Reality is
Creation.
nothing.
What do you mean by that?
Exactly. What do you mean by that? Is the whole philosophy. You can't understand it.
How can you bring out something out of nothing?
Very good. Now that are the counter arguments to that philosophy. So we are not going to that discussion. We are trying to explain this diagram here. This is your source of knowledge. Once you accept this is a circular thing.
But those who say nothing, actually, if you start talking to them, there's something.
Exactly. This is the problem. This is it.
That's why they are
There-
lost.
for some, nothing is not something.
No, they are. That's why they are lost.
Like zero. Zero is not null.
It's
We
not
say-
null. Exactly.
we
That's a
say
good
in
example.
IT.
That's exactly what people use as a. See, this is a case. If you move it, there's nothing, but there's a table there. So the concept of nothing, absolute nothing, and this is what is nirvana.
Nirvana, yeah.
But the starting point is principles of
is
Hinduism.
You go to the
Minus
extreme that
Yeah.
you amalgamate
Not Hinduism,
yourself
Buddhism.
into the
Buddhism.
Buddhism
into the
is
universe.
based on principles of Hinduism minus the deities and
Yeah,
gods
so
and all
basically is what we call nirvana is basically nothing, nihilism. Anyway,
Nihilism.
so the secular part is called nihilism. So the secular, materialistic part is nihilism. The equivalent of this, that is the transcendental, this is secular, materialistic. Out of this box, you will see these 5 things come out.
You didn't tell the source of knowledge.
Source of knowledge, how do you acquire the external reality? So what is the source of knowledge? So according to science,
How
remember,
do you what?
acquire this
How do you know?
perceive external reality,
Perceive
interact.
through senses, 5 senses.
Two primary sources: empirical, 5 senses, and rational. Right?
Right. So what's the source of knowledge in this case?
So this is the secular, in the Islamic framework, apart from the postulate, there's a third knowledge, which is sits at a higher level, wahi. Okay? Now, in this source of knowledge,
So in Islam, we also use this empirical and rational sources, but the
Under the
Sahih
framework.
supersedes it.
why? Let me give you an example. To debunk empiricism, just one example is sufficient. That empiricism cannot lead you to truth. Why? Just one example. All of us are from, except him, probably. We are coming from a warm, hot climate. What do you see at 12 o'clock in the noon outside when you go outside? You see water.
Yeah. Right.
Mirage. Water. That is what your senses are telling you. If you obey your senses, you are dead.
Yeah.
Following water in a desert.
You are dead.
On the road.
Just one example is sufficient to debunk the objective truth of empiricism. I mean, for a layman, I can go into philosophical arguments, that's a different thing. Remember, we did 2 dogmas of empiricism long time back. Just one example. Rationalism is also the same thing. This is hydrogen cyanide. Who amongst you will take this hydrogen cyanide? If I tell you this is hydrogen cyanide, who will tell you?
If somebody knows it's a sweet,
How
he has no idea what hydrogen cyanide is.
exactly.
Exactly. So your mind, if you believe your mind, then you have a problem. The funny part of all this, the weakest source in a source of knowledge, according to modern standard, is what? Testimony. They call it the weakest source.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah.
But the funny part is that is what we use the most,
Yes.
despite being the weakest. Because no one does an experiment all the time. No one does, thinking all the time. We rely on testimony. This is hydrogen cyanide. You accept?
Yes.
So out of here flows your socio-cultural. Actually, there's another level here which should be there. It's called the meta level, but forget about that. This is your social. Huh? So this box should be called socio-cultural political things here, and on this box here it will be your customs, your norms. You take as guiding starting points, right? Give you an example. This is not a law. This is just a norm. What is a norm? You do not kill ambassadors. Ambassadors have immunity. In international theory, it is not a law. People can do it, but it's a custom. It's something that is widely accepted. So these things sit here. Okay, norms, principles, customs, protocols. Different names for the same thing. This is your secular, your economic, social, political, legal system. On this side here is your foundations of usuls of economics. Here it will be your commerce, finance, and economic system, right? So these two are also related. Remember, there's an arrow going from here to here, and from here to here, right? You have medicine, which is independent of science, and you have technology.
कैसे कर दिया आपने भाई? ये आपने साइंस को काट के फेंक दिया मेडिसिन से यार। ये क्या किया है?
Okay. So, do you agree that science and technology are two different things?
Yes.
So, medicine and science are two different things.
Based on testimony.
Not testimony. I'm asking you. अगर आप बीमार पड़ते हैं, आप पहले क्या पता ये करते हैं कि कैसे ये काम करती है, दवा खाते हैं?
खा लेते हैं।
So that is medicine.
तो ये अलग कैसे होगी इसका मतलब है?
The why? How is this? You just use it. Medicine is just like technology, except technology is machine. Medicine is human body.
دودھ میں سے پانی کو الگ کر رہے ہیں آپ, اس میں سے چیز الگ کر رہے ہیں.
ارے بھائی
کسی الگ کریں.
وہ کہہ رہے ہیں ہاؤ بعد میں ہوگا, پہلے کھا کے ٹھیک ہو بعد میں دیکھا جائے گا.
اچھا آپ نے کبھی بلی کو دیکھا
الگ تو نہیں ہے نا,
ابھی الگ نہیں ہے,
اپلیکیشن الگ ہے نا.
دیکھ الگ نہیں ہے. لک ایٹ دس لائنس بہت آر ٹاکنگ.
تو ان کا اس سے اوپر سے کیا ریلیشن شپ ہے؟
وہ تو core
ایسے اگر تھوڑی دیر کے لیے سوچے, لیٹ می آسک یو دس, تھوڑی اگر یہ چیز ایگزسٹ نہیں کرتی ہے, آپ کے پاس کوئی سائنس نہیں ہے, کوئی ٹیکنالوجی نہیں ہے, آپ بیمار پڑ گئے, پہلا آدمی بیمار پڑ گیا جنگل,
2 دفعہ مجھے بیمار کر چکے ہیں, میں ویسے بیمار ہو گیا.
تو پہلا آدمی بیمار پڑ گیا مزمل بھائی,
ضرورت ہے ان کی ہمیں.
تو آپ یہ بتائیے کہ آپ وہاں پر پہلے ایک سائنٹسٹ کو بلائیں گے یا حکیم کو بلائیں گے؟
تو 2 in 1 نہیں ہو سکتا.
2 in 1 ہوگا نا.
کیا مطلب ہے سائنس الگ ہو گئی میڈیسن سے؟
ہم نے یہ الگ نہیں ہو گئی بھائی, یہ ایک ڈیپینڈنٹ برانچ ہے
کس چیز کی؟
ہیومن انڈیور کی, ہیومن سویلائزیشن کی.
وہ لیبورٹری ہے, یہ ڈرگ اسٹور ہے.
ایگزیکٹلی صحیح بات ہے.
یار اس سے تو 200 برانچیں نکلتی ہیں.
کیسے؟
ہر چیز کی برانچ نکال لیں.
اب ایسے نہیں ہوتا.
مثال کے طور پہ گاڑی کا ایکسیڈنٹ ہوتا ہے, فائر ڈپارٹمنٹ آتا ہے, وہ الگ برانچ ہے.
وہ یہاں پر آئے گا, اس 2 برانچ کو مکس کر کے آئے گا. اٹامک لیول پر تو یہی 5 چیزیں. اٹامک لیول ایٹ دا لوویسٹ لیول, جو انسان کی جو ایک دم ابسولوٹ ہر چیز کو کم کرتے 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 اس لیول تک آپ آئیں گے. اسی لیے آپ دیکھیں گے فلاسفی آف میڈیسن اور فلاسفی آف سائنس اور فلاسفی آف ٹیکنالوجی الگ سبجیکٹس ہیں نا, ایک دم الگ ہیں. ان کا ریلیشن شپ ہے ایک دوسرے, لک ایٹ اٹ, دکھایا تو ہے. دے انٹرپلے ود, کوئی انڈیپینڈنٹ تھوڑی ایگزسٹ کرتا ہے اینٹی. بٹ ادریس علیہ السلام نے کیا سکھایا تھا بتائیے؟
سکھایا تھا بھولیا.
ادریس علیہ السلام نے 3 چیز, تین امپورٹنٹ فنڈامنٹل چیز سکھائی. ان ریلیشن, پہلے سکھایا لکھنا پڑھنا, دس از بیسس آف ایوری تھنگ. صحیح ہے. سکھایا میڈیسن, سائنس نہیں سکھایا.
اچھا میڈیسن اسلام سے.
ہاں, دیٹس آور ٹریڈیشن. اس کا مطلب یہ نہیں ہے کہ کوئی صحیح روایت سے ملے گی. دیٹس ہاؤ وی جسٹیفائی ہاؤ سائنس, ہاؤ میڈیسن, دی نالج آف میڈیسن کیم ڈاؤن فرام اللہ سبحانہ وتعالی. دس از ہاؤ وی جسٹیفائی اٹ. How did fire reach in paganism, in any pagan religion? How did fire reach human civilization? Through somebody going to the gods and stealing it and bringing it to the earth. Greek mythology, yeah? Yeah? As it is not like that. It is Rasul, is وہی آتی ہے, رسول کو سکھایا جاتا ہے, وہ پھر چلتی ہے کنٹینیوٹی.
اور سیکولرزم میں اس نے کچھ
ایکسیڈنٹ آ جاتا ہے, ایکسیڈنٹ ہو جاتا ہے.
بالکل. اب بگننگ سے دیکھیں تو نوح علیہ السلام کو اللہ کی نگرانی میں کشتی بنا دی.
ایگزیکٹلی.
کشتی بناؤ ہماری نگرانی میں.
تو یہ
خشکی پہ بنا رہے ہیں کشتی, ابھی پتہ چل جائے گا تھوڑے دن.
تو یہ ایک دم بیسک لیول پر اگر آپ جائیں گے تو یہ ہے ہمارا.
تو آپ یہ کہہ رہے ہیں کہ انسان کی سوچ کی ارتقا ہوئی ہے.
یا اف یو وانٹ ٹو پٹ اٹ دیٹ وے,
ہیومن انڈرسٹینڈنگ ایوالوڈ.
یہاں سے اب یہیں پر اللہ تعالیٰ اکارڈنگ ٹو آور فریم آف ریفرنس, اللہ تعالیٰ ہم لوگ کو یہاں پر جو فاؤنڈیشنس تو نہیں چینج ہوں گا نا, فاؤنڈیشنس تو وہی رہیں گے. اچھا یہ بات بتائیے, یہ آپ نے بلڈنگ بنا لی, اس کے اوپر مزید آپ 25 اسٹوری بنا لیں, تو کیا فاؤنڈیشن آپ چینج کریں گے؟
تو دوبارہ آؤں گا تو میں تو یہاں رکوں گا ہی نہیں. میں کہوں گا یار وہ جو 5200 پہ رکنا تھا وہ تو 2 اسٹوری تھی, یہ تو 25 اسٹوری بن گئی. I'll move on.
بائے بائے. کیا کہہ سکتے بھائی, اگر آپ کی فاؤنڈیشن فرم ہے آپ اسی پر ڈیولپ کریں گے نا گھر کو. جب فاؤنڈیشن ہی نہیں ہے تو پھر آپ تو کبھی ادھر جاتے کبھی ادھر, لائک یو واز سیئنگ, کبھی آج ادھر ہے کل ادھر ہے, کبھی کہتے ہیں کہ مایا ہے, کبھی کہتے ہیں کچھ ہے. ہاؤ آر یو گوئنگ ٹو
پایا ہے ناشتے میں پایا.
نو بھائی,
جذباتی بات کرتے ہیں.
تو یہ اسی کو پورے کو آپ یہ ایکچولی
تو سوال ایک پیدا ہوتا ہے, ہیومن مائنڈ ایوالو کر گیا تو روح بھی ایوالو کر گئی.
روح کی جو کوالٹیز تھیں اب یہ جتنی ہم لوگ کو نالج دی گئی ہے اس پر ہم لوگ بات کر سکتے ہیں. روح کی نالج کا آنسر کس نے دیا تھا؟ تو اس کے بارے میں بہت کم نالج دی
اتنا
گئی.
بتا دیا ہمارے لیے
بس اتنا کافی.
That is the amr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That's it.
اگر اس کی حکمت
یہی جو ایکچولی یہی گمراہی انسان کو ہر طرف دوڑا رہی ہے وہاں سے. کیوں؟ ہم چاہ رہے ہیں کہ جو الٹیمیٹ میننگ ہے ہماری لائف میں ہماری زندگی میں پتہ چل جائے نا. یہی چیز چاہ رہے ہیں نا.